Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And I just wanted to go in on this article real briefly. This is off of RT News, written by a guy named Scott Ritter, who was a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer, in which a lot of these ex-military and Marine, Army vets or whatever they were, they're seeing the hypocrisy of Babylon the Great, and they're pissed off. And you can see in the title of this article that he sees that this place is through. All right. The title of the article is Trump-Biden Debate Put U.S. Democracy on Display. We're now little more than the world's laughingstock armed with nukes. And that's true, because the only thing that's really keeping Babylon the Great as a power is that sword, in which the beast system, according to prophecy, is separating. And that power, the power of that sword, isn't the power that it used to be. Okay, because they're losing allies daily. Okay, Babylon the Great, is being isolated for the purpose of prophecy being fulfilled. Okay, and if you saw that fiasco last night, which I didn't check all of it out. I looked at some of the highlights, and I watched brothers' videos, and then I looked at some of it this morning. That debate last night between Trump and Biden, you can clearly see that this place is through. All right, and here it is. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are all up in arms and fussing about now's the time to go out and vote. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up this before I go into the article. This is a post a brother sent. It said, "Whoever needs this, I understand the desire not to vote, to reject a system that abuses you and denies your worth. But please know that the system does see your worth. It's afraid of your power. That's why it works so hard to make you feel powerless. You are not powerless. Vote." And as the scriptures say, you trust in a broken reed in Egypt. As a matter of fact, let me pull that up. It's Isaiah 36, I believe. You stay up on this staff. Because here it is. This is all our people are talking about. Here it is right here. This is Isaiah 36 and 6. "Lo, thou trusteth in the staff of this broken reed." And the Lord in Isaiah the 14th chapter said he is broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And that's what's happening. Now it's not fully broken, all right, because more prophecies have to come to pass, but we can clearly see that this is a sinking ship. All right, as I saw a comment by the elder Malcolm, he said, building, like I forget how he worded it, but building, let's say that you were building on the Titanic, you're still building, trying to get first class on the Titanic. Okay, you're still, trying to get first class on a sinking ship. And Babylon the Great is definitely a sinking ship. It's done. You can clearly see with the two puppets that they have, with their strings attached to them, talking all of this madness yesterday. Okay, and you, Jakes, really believe that Biden is somehow your savior. Somehow he's going to give you a better, way. And you refuse to turn to the Lord, man. 2/3 of our people are out there bad, man. "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed." On Egypt, which America is spiritually Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and all that trust in him. Your ass is going to get chipped. But this, leaning on America is likened unto leaning upon a gate or upon a broken staff where if you lean on it, you eventually get pierced and cut, man, and hurt yourself. And that's ultimately what is happening with you Jakes with this whole vote thing. Now, the scriptures do tell us that, as a matter of fact, I didn't mean to go into all of this, but this is Isaiah 10 and 20. It shall come to pass that in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Israel shall no more stay upon him that smote them. That word stay means to lean upon for support, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. You see that? So we've totally detached our minds from thinking that we're going to get any liberation from this place. But for some reason, our people don't get it. And we know why. It's because the Lord have blinded their minds. But they really believe that Biden is their way, you know, their salvation from Trump, as if then they're all in the same game. They all do the same stuff. They're all a bunch of damn degenerate pedophiles. And these Edomites are overrated and stupid as hell. You just type in Biden on YouTube and look at that man talk, man. His quotes, his bloopers. They got a bunch of bloopers, and the dude is just, he talks out of his head. And it's a damn joke. Now, you know, he's stupid, man. I'm just being honest. You know, but this article, the title is Trump-Biden debate put U.S. democracy on display. We're now little more than the world's laughingstock armed with nukes. And that's all you Edomites have left, is that sword, which a part of that sword is your propaganda and your lies, your tongue, which we know you have a lot up your sleeve going down the pipe. And when you look at that debate yesterday, and I'll read the article, but the point came up about this whole left-right fiasco, which is all BS. And those are terms, like we said, you know, they use that, you know, one side against the other to enslave the minds of the people. But you have this leftist, you know, right wing, and who's on the left? All right. Who did Trump bring up as the problem? He said Antifa, but we know exactly what that entails. Just speaking of you BLMers, in which they're going to try to lump all of us in the same gang, okay? Because you have all been set up for the okie doke, and you're being fattened up as a lamb to the slaughter, man. You see, as a sheep to the slaughter. That's what's ultimately happening. And I was just looking. Trump is talking about putting $500 billion into the black community so that he can captivate your mind and get your vote. But really, they don't need your vote. They already know who they're going to put in office. They just need your mind. All right, taken off of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai as your way. Okay? They're not going to put no $500 billion in no black communities, man. And they've been promising you all things for years, and it never happens. Even Obama, okay? Because Obama, when he got in there, he jumped right over you niggas and liberated, okay, the alphabets. You see? And you all look at him as if he's some great thing. And then you ask a Jake, you know, name 3 things that Obama did that was good, you know? Well, the healthcare. Well, healthcare skyrocketed for people. People were catching hell under that whole Obamacare thing, man. Then pretty much you get fined if you didn't have healthcare. That didn't help nobody. Name another 2 things that he did. You don't know. All right. And it's high time to wake out of sleep. Now, if he can see, if Scott Ritter can see that America is the world's laughingstock, when are you Jakes gonna wake up? Now, because they were asking Trump in that debate. The dude asked him, the mediator, so-called, asked him, you know, about these white supremacist groups, if he's gonna denounce them, and Trump wouldn't do it. He started bringing up Antifa, which we know he's preluding. He's speaking about Black Lives Matter, because that's the narrative that's being set while everybody's playing games and you know watching this fiasco being flabbergasted. They got this vax coming down the pipe, okay? And there's going to be very, 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 very a large amounts of civil unrest due to what happens in this election. Either way it goes. If Biden gets in, all right, these white supremacist groups and everything else, they're going to go crazy. And they're looking for a scapegoat because they're finished. So all they're doing, and I had a video, I'm going to see if I can pull it up, where, this dude, this supremacist, was basically saying if Biden gets in, we're coming. If Trump gets in, we know that they're coming. So we're just going to target practice, shooting and going into the forest and shooting, doing what they know best. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are walking around stuck on stupid, man. Not knowing what the hell is going on. Anyway, America and the rest of the world tuned in to watch the first of 3 televised presidential debates last night. What they got was an embarrassing partisan wrestling match, and that's what it was, WWF, that sowed the seeds of the U.S. ensuing self-destruction. This place has been self-destructing, and it's all prophecy. We just get to, we just get to have front row seats to see you all destroy your own goddamn selves, man. All right, here it is. These 2 grown ass men sitting there. It was childish. It was funny. It was entertaining. But at the same time, you got to think these are supposed to be world leaders, man. Trump told Biden his son was a cokehead, got kicked out of the military. I was like, damn. So it was embarrassing, man. And this is ultimately the basis of this lesson, to go to the book of Nahum. I don't want to make it too long. It says, if the transcript of the debate between President Trump and Joe Biden was submitted to Hollywood as a part of a script exploring the state of an American politics today, it will be rejected out of the hand as unrealistic, incomprehensible, and just simply poor writing. And yet, there it was on full display for the entire world to see. American dysfunction. The end of Esau's world is basically what's happening. The world is seeing you for what you are, and the Lord has put a reprobate, put the spirit for you to really be shown for what you are, because for so long, everybody has looked at you all as this great nation of people, this great race of people, these smart, the end all be all of what's right and what's wrong. Your word was gold, but now people are looking like, God damn. And that goes into the prophecy, of the wisdom of Teman being washed up, man. You're overrated. Okay. It wasn't a debate as much as it was a petty airing of grievances by 2 men old enough to know better. And Biden's like close to 80 something years old. Through. Okay? But so vested in their own narcissistic belief that they alone hold the key to American peace and prosperity that they were blinded to the pathetic display in which they both equally partook. And they were talking about cleaning the earth up, and it was funny, man. It's very funny to see you Edomites go out, man. You're through. Both Trump and Biden played to their respective base, with Trump doing so more effectively than his opponent. Let's see here. It said, Trump's gaffe in failing to clearly condemn white supremacy. Why? Because he's a part of it. And the process, and they're blaming, they're inadvertently, they're blaming you Israelites, man. Okay? That's what's happening. And in the process, inadvertently providing the Proud Boys, a militant group that promotes white supremacy values, with a rallying cry in the form of this fumbled answer, stand back and stand by. So he's telling the supremacist groups to get ready. all right, will not cost him any voters amongst his base. One cannot say the same about Biden's distancing himself from the Green New Deal, which is dealing with cleaning up the earth and all of that. Oh man, let's see. We'll read a little bit more, but let's get a scripture, man, because the whole world is seeing that you all are a joke, man. Even your own kind are seeing it, man. Nahum 3:5. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Let's look up this word shame, because it's a damn shame the way you all look, and that this is actually something that our people are looking to for help. And our people are dead serious that Biden is the way. You know? Let me see. Kala. Hold up, let me see. Kalawan. Shame, disgrace, dishonor, ignominy. All right? Ignominy of a nation. Dishonor, disgrace, personal. All right? The root word, kala, to be disgraced, to be lightly esteemed, to be dishonored. And that's biblical prophecy of Obadiah, man. Obadiah, the first chapter. Obadiah 2:1. I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, man. And this is where we are in prophecy. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks. And people are starting to see you for the beast you are. Okay, because when you go to Revelation, okay, the 13th chapter, when you look up that word beast, is dealing with a savage, bestial, ferocious man. Okay, and that's what you all truly are. But you've been able to hide with the suit and the smiles, but now everything is coming out, and people are starting to question you. The years ago, people were not questioning you. People were looking at you as if you were really held in high esteem, but now you've become small, which that Hebrew word for small is katan, which means insignificant, unimportant. You see, and this is ultimately what's happening to you Edomites. Meanwhile, you know, the American Edomite who really thought that this was it, they're starting to see it slip away, man, and they could tell something's wrong, so they're gonna just go with what they know and bring that sword. It says, behold, I am against thee, verse 5 in Nahum 3, saith the Lord of hosts, I will discover upon thy skirts upon thy face, meaning your skirts lifted and they see you for what you are, man. That great, beautiful woman, okay, that was decked with all these, you know, precious things. And, you know, now that the skirt is lifted, you like, whoa, wait a minute, what is that? Well, you know what it is. It's a rod. It's a penis. Because America, that who's to say that whore riding on that beast, all right, ain't a damn man, you know? This is what's going on in America. And I'm just saying that in jest. But the skirt is being lifted, meaning your secrets are exposed, man. And will show the nations thy nakedness. And we know that sin is associated with being naked, and this is the man of sin. Not that the laws were given unto him, all right, but he promotes everything that the law says not to do. That's what they are about. And the kingdom's thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee. And this happened to ancient Nineveh, but this now, all right, is speaking to Babylon the Great, the modern day Nineveh. Okay, because Nahum, when you do the research, he was actually cursing this place out. The men, the leaders, were dressing up as women. Same thing we're seeing today. Nahum, our brother, all right, our forefathers saw that and cursed it out, man. So he had the same sentiments and going through the same thing that we go through. So the Lord has cast an abominable filth upon thee, and he's making thee vow, and he will set thee as a gazing stock. And here it is, you're trying to put everything back on our people. But we've already been the gazing stock. We've already been, all right, the byword. It's your turn. All right, Raya. All right, looking, appearing, seeing, sight, appearing, spectacle. You see, we've been the spectacle. So now it's your turn, Jack. Okay, and rightfully so. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? And this is what's getting ready to happen to Babylon the Great. That which is then is now. All right. And Nineveh is the capital of Assyria, which is basically Babylon. Okay. And this is one of the cities that Nimrod established on his road. Okay. His road to world rulership. I mean, to that new world order at that time. The first world order he tried to establish. Now, let's go back to this article. Let me see if I can pull up that video. Hold up. It's those Edomites, man. Hold up. Where they at, man? Here we go. No, that ain't it. Here we go. Here we go. I'm just playing a little bit of it.
These next 45 days are going to be packed with violence.
Hell yeah.
There's going to be bloodshed irregardless. The United States is a violent country, and we are the largest all-black international coalition militia on the planet.
Edomite got you. These Edomites got you, Jakes, right where they want you, man. Because they know that as long as you're trying to play this game, you lose. Because that's their area that's their playing field. See, what we're doing is a spiritual war, which they can't win that. You see, they can't win a spiritual war. So they want you all to be following after a guy like Grandmaster Jay. But I didn't want to make this video too long or about him. We've already proved that that guy is a sham. And look, and what is she going to do? Auntie Frankie with the gun right here.
So I'm about an hour outside Atlanta.
The victory that we have coming is going to be a victory that this world has never saw. This world has saw victory by guns before. That's already been done. What we're getting ready to do is something that has never been done, man. We're going to be beamed up the elect, the remnant. We're going to be beamed out of here. And first, we're going to defeat you just with the word. You're being defeated by the word. The blood of Yahweh and the word, our testimony is what's really overcoming you. And we're watching you self-destruct. We don't need a gun. For what? Yeah, I want to...
3%ers make the disputed claim that just 3% of American colonists fought the British in the Revolution. They're described by civil rights groups as far-right, anti-government white supremacists, something Chris has invited us here to deny.
So today we're going to be going to the woods. We're going to be working on pistol drills, rifle drills.
What are you training for?
People may try to come and take what you got. So we want to be able to protect what we have, or to move and make contact with the threats and take out the bad guys.
Who's the threat? They're going to make the threat, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, via the virus and your link with Antifa. But just listen.
Precisely who the enemy is ranges from Black Lives Matter and anti-fascists to any Democrat who wants gun control.
Lord knows what's going to happen November 4th if, when people wake up and Donald Trump has been elected president, the left is going to absolutely lose their minds. Cities are going to burn.
And what happens if it goes the other way?
I hope the silent majority would rise up and stand against a Biden presidency, especially if there's an allegation of fraud.
If on election night there's no clear result and neither Trump nor Biden concedes, these militias are expecting to be out on the streets, and you can see how things might go wrong.
I want to correct the myths and misconceptions about what 3%ers and what 3% militia is really all about.
The myths being what?
That every 3% militiaman is a neo-Confederate, Nazi, white supremacist, anti-government hillbilly running around playing Call of Duty in the woods.
Are there any of them?
No, I'm a freaking Marine Corps veteran, and I'm doing what I do.
What do you think of what happened to George Floyd?
In my opinion, the officers should not be charged with murder and should not be imprisoned for that.
Earlier this month, militias gathered in Louisville, Kentucky at the same...
So the narrative is set. I mean, they're gonna do what they do. The narrative is set. That left-right thing, they got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? But this article I thought was pretty dope. When you read it, let's read a little bit more of it, and then we'll close it out. Biden, let's see here. There was little, if anything, for them grasping that this does not bode well for November. The real issue, however, is how much the independent voter was marginalized by this debate. There was little, if anything, for them to grasp onto from either candidate. It's all a sham, man. They coming with the vax and the sword. That's what's next. Civil unrest, the vax, the sword, New World Order. They're just keeping you all entertained, man, and divided and at each other's neck. This does not bode well for November, when one can expect many of these disaffected and disenfranchised voters to simply stay home. If that is what occurs, then it is an advantage for Trump, and America will be the worse for it. Biden was his own worst enemy. Because like Jake ain't, you got people who ain't voting. They're going to say, well, it's your fault Trump stayed in. It's just going to be an all around war. It's going to be friction. November, man, December, America is going to, man, it's going to be on fire. It's going to be a whole nother level, man. Leading into next year, which, man, is going to go down. And who's to say, who knows what they're going to do with this vax, man. But they're going to use that vax as a means to have troops heavily in your neighborhood shooting and killing, man. Biden was his own worst enemy, unable to articulate anything remotely sounding like a plan that provides a meaningful counter to the Trump presidency. By sinking into the president's level and engaging in verbal jousting and insult slinging, all Biden did was to engage in a mud fight with the pig, a losing proposition from the start because both candidates ended up getting covered in mud, but the pigs like it. Then it goes into other moments, but this place is through, man. It's a pretty long article. Read it, but prophecy is happening, all right? In America is the laughing stock, okay, of the world. America's through, okay? So with that, hopefully I was edified. And this place is divided, man. And there's various prophecies that go into that, man. Shalom.